He kōna I purangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Oh my God. I knew this was coming. I'm sitting here leaning, pack still on, but just sitting back against a bank on the moss up in one of the highest points of the Hirakinos. Just been climbing, steady climbing on just this thick mud. Your boots are so heavy because of the mud. And then just when it flattens out a bit, there's a right angle turn and it's up this horribly steep gradient. And I've just had to stop and have a lean here. I am shattered. And it's bizarre. I'm looking at my boots and the mud on my pants and I'm going, I pictured exactly this. I knew this was coming. What the hell am I doing it for? I want to nominate my toes for an award. I want to nominate my feet for awards and my legs. I'm not sure if I want to nominate me though. This could be a form of idiocy. Frickin' hell.
I went on my first ever tramp just a couple of weeks ago with the Auckland Tramping Club up into the Kaimais for 2 nights. And man, it exposed me to that again, that these people are trampers. And they might look like very sort of, there's nothing powerful looking about them, but man, they can put on a pack and just hit those hills, and boy, they can do it. And in fact, the president of the Auckland Tramping Club, Tony Walton, I was with his group, and he's bizarre. He's older than me, and he was just flying along. He was explaining that they've done some stuff with some rugby players at one point, and the rugby players they can't handle it like trampers handle it.
Nau mai, haere mai, welcome to Mangamuka.
Man, I can't tell you, Eliza, I have been dreaming of getting to your dairy for a day and a half, nearly 2 days now, and of drinking a ginger beer here, which is...
Found one.
One last
left
one.
In the fridge.
Yeah. You get many people, have you been noticing the Tāroa Trail walkers coming in?
Yes, they have just started, lots this morning.
And over the years, has it been building?
Well, I've been here for almost 4 years now, and so it has built up, yeah.
Yeah.
I see our position here as the gateway to the far north. So everyone that comes from south has to come through here, either goes the other way, but most of them come through here and they need to either stop for a drink or stop to go to the toilet. We get tons of visitors through here.
So you say you've been here 4 years. Where are you from?
I'm from here.
Oh, okay.
Born and bred in a little place around the other side. It's called Mangataipa. Yeah.
Did you ever see yourself being a dairy owner?
No.
Hard work?
I actually came home about 12 years ago to look after our mum that was sick at the time from the Wairarapa. Yeah, I thought 4 years ago it's like I needed something to do, and I thought, what can I do? And so the dairy came available. I thought, that's it. It's always been owned by the community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And my brother bought the building and kind of like it's like a whānau business.
Oh, very cool.
It is. Well, I've given myself 5 years in here, so my time's up next November. So
another member of the whānau will come in?
Yes, hopefully. If the whānau doesn't come in, you open it up to the community, which is whānau anyway, the wider whānau.
It's all been on this is the Mangapukahukahau River, and where I just had my swim. It's a swimming hole at the junction of the Mangapukahukahau and the Waipapa River. So just absolutely stunning spot. And because we took the effort to walk down to this junction today, from Mangamuka up beyond, just out of the Raitea forest, means tomorrow's not a bad day. It's relatively straightforward, 16 kilometres, bit of a climb, up 400 metres or so through what will probably be mud. but my toes should last it. And I'm definitely going to lose a toenail on my left little toe. And then the next day is a fairly straightforward walk, 20 plus K into Kirikiri. And a rest day with my ma and missus. Still yet to be convinced that tramping is a totally my scene.
All right, I've made an executive decision. I'm after I complete this Te Araroa trot that I'm currently on, only another 140 days or so to go. I think I am going to become a very single issue focused human being, and that single issue, I'm going to start a new political party, build up to the next elections. And that party's going to be the anti-bloody gravel road party. I'm going to get rid of all gravel roads in New Zealand. And I've already had 10 subscriptions. Each of my toes has agreed to join and fight hard to get rid of bloody gravel roads. So it's Labour Day, mid-afternoon, 23rd October. I'm walking into Kirikiri. I'm going to be having a rest day here with my mum and sis, and my sister-in-law has come up for the day, and she's done this walk down the Kirikiri River with me, Joelle. And it's her husband, my brother Doug, whose ashes I've been carrying with my father's, and Joelle's carrying them at the moment. So, Joelle, you felt you wanted to come up and do a bit of the walk?
Yeah, I do for, many reasons. Well, first of all, Bruce, because I really admire what you're doing and the reasons why you're doing it. And secondly, you are carrying Dougie's ashes, and that's really important for me. I feel it's important for me to do this with you, or a little bit of it, and I hope to do maybe a bit more along the way.
And tell me about 23rd of October.
And also, yes, that was the third reason, really. It's Doug's birthday today, so I knew I had to do it today, even though it was pouring with rain this morning. I got out of bed and I thought, no, I've got to do this.
Now, just take me through, because I mentioned at one point in my first podcast about the phone call from you in hospital when Dougie, collapsed, and that was a pretty freak-out time, wasn't it? For other people who have gone through similar things, like the grieving process, what's it been?
Oh, it's been, well, for me, I can only speak for myself, but it was a long period of grieving. Yeah, very long. And it's been 6 years, and I think that it's taken me about 4 or 5 to get out of it, to start feeling that I could move on.
All right. Well, you're going to come to Stewart Island when I get to Stewart Island with Dougie and Dad's ashes?
You know what, Bruce? I would love to. In fact, I will. I've decided. I was thinking of that on my way up, driving, and I thought, I have to be there at the end, because it's going to be quite emotional, but great at the same time, to release all that. And yeah, I want to be there, definitely.
Well, Joelle, let's pause here for a second.
Yeah.
A little hug. Will having my father and brother's ashes, some of their ashes, help me along the way? I think possibly they will, I've talked to people who've done the trail, a couple of people, and I asked one of them about, a high point and a low point, and they said, well, actually they happen daily. So those low points, the fact that I'm walking the spirit of my father and brother home, will probably help me go, no, come on, man, get over it, keep going. One step, 1 foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other.
Bloody heck. It's 9:30, Wednesday, 25th of October. I'm finally on my way out of Kirikiri. Had a rest day yesterday. Spent most of yesterday, it seemed like, having to deal with a tech issue. My phone, which I'm still paying off, an iPhone, so within warranty and everything, but it died in the rain walking into Kirikiri the day before. So $500 later, I had to buy a second-hand phone. Bloody well didn't get around to chatting to my sister Wanda to talk to her about home, what home means to her. With the Stewart Island, she was the only one of our family that was actually born on the island. Mum gave birth to her. She couldn't get onto a fishing boat in time to get across to Invercargill, to Bluff and then Invercargill, so she had to give birth to Wanda on the island. Anyway, we're underway. Back on trail after a day's rest. And man, that was a nice day's rest in terms of blisters of the toes. They're feeling so much better. My boots are dry. First day of dry boots for 5 days. Onward, upward, forever forward. Initially I was a little blasé about when I got out of the Waitangi forest, coming up to this Mount Bledisloe. Never been up here before. Looking out over the Bay of Islands. A former stomping ground of we, the Hopkins, the WRCM, William Raymond, Colleen Marguerite Hopkins whānau. I once swam a little vial of ashes of my brother from Russell to Paihia in one of the ocean swim series. And I reckon it was him getting back at me, because that afternoon I got picked up by a couple of mates who were blatting out in a boat to Great Barrier Island. Met them down at the wharf, hopped on the boat. It was really rough. No other boats were going out. So we were just heading out, but bashing into these seas. I was holding on, and I just for one split second, I just had my hand on the table. I wasn't gripping it. And we just smacked into this wave, flew me through the wheelhouse, and my ribs hit the corner of the console where the skipper was sitting, and I broke a rib. So we had to turn around, take me back to Kauau. I couldn't breathe. It was just, we had to spend the night tucked in there at Kauau, and then it was like hospital the next morning. And I reckon that was Doug. I reckon that was him going, "Don't you put me down, you bloody togs," because I had the little vial stashed down the front of my togs for the swim. Oh yeah, I am rounding the corner between Waitangi, the Bay of Waitangi, and Paihia. There's a sign, road sign says 25, indicating sharp corner. So I'll try and slow down. Left calf is telling me, no, catch the ferry, go straight to Russell. And normally I wouldn't listen to my left calf so diligently like this, but I am going to listen to it and obey it, because after all it is International Day of the Left Calf. So I'll honour that special day. So who am I talking to here?
Lennox Machiavelli.
Machiavelli, nice. So you guys fishing off the Waitangi Bridge here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a bit of luck sometimes, you reckon?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, what's the best fish you've ever caught, Machiavelli?
Probably a 30-pound kingy.
Serious, off here?
No, not off here.
Oh, wicked. What do you fellas want to do when you leave school and all that stuff?
Oh, really? I just gonna fish.
What about you, Machiavelli?
I don't know yet. I know a lot about cars and stuff for my age, but yeah. I got a fish, okay?
Okay.
I reckon. Oh, I got a fish!
Oh!
Shut up. I reckon I got a fish out.
The Long Way Home is produced by Bruce Hopkins and Justin Gregory. The executive producer is Tim Watkin and the engineer is Blair Stagpool. You can subscribe to every episode of The Long Way Home at iTunes or at radionz.co.nz/series. And while you're there, please rate us. That way more people get to hear these stories. If you go to the Long Way Home webpage at rnz.co.nz, you'll find an interactive map that follows Bruce as he walks Te Aroa, New Zealand's trail. Bruce is also on Twitter at BruceHop, so get in touch if you've got tips for him, questions, or can offer him a bed, a meal or a hot shower along the way. He'd be very grateful. You can also email him at thelongwayhome@radionz.co.nz. While you're waiting for the next episode, head over to the podcasts and series page on RNZ's website and check out Are We There Yet? RNZ's series about the pleasures, pratfalls and practical lessons of parenting in the modern world. In the most recent episode, Katie Gossett looks at navigating fatherhood in 2017, changing roles, gender stereotypes, and being the only bloke at the coffee morning. Modern fathers have more options to spend time with their children nowadays, but that can bring different pressures and expectations. And of course, in exactly 1 week's time, we'll hear from Bruce Hopkins again as he heads south out of the Bay of Islands and wraps up the Northland section of Te Aroa, New Zealand's trail. The Long Way Home. Whenua, whakapapa, whānau. Follow us